Hey everyone, and welcome! Get ready, because today we are going to write your very first lines of Python code. Seriously, so let's just jump right in.
Now, I get it. You might be thinking, isn't coding, super complicated? Like you need to be some kind of genius with a giant computer to even get started? Well, let me tell you, that's not the case at all.
In fact, you're going to write your first real program in like the next 30 seconds. And the best part? You don't need to install or download a single thing. We can get straight to the fun part.
Okay, let's open up our virtual toolkit. Our very first tool. Think of it as a megaphone. It's how we get the computer to listen to us and shout out whatever we want it to say.
This megaphone is a command called print. It's super simple. Anytime you want the computer to show something on the screen, words, numbers, anything at all, print is your best friend. It's basically us telling the computer, hey, put this on the screen for me.
So how do we use it? Easy. You just type print, add a couple of parentheses, and then inside quotation marks, you write your message. For this one, we're going to say, hello, future coder.
And boom, just like that. The computer did exactly what we told it to do. You just wrote a real piece of code and made something happen. How cool is that? That feeling, that's the magic of coding right there.
And hey, you're not the only one who feels that spark. A programmer once described his first time seeing his code work just like this. It perfectly captures that aha moment where you realize you're actually in control.
All right, ready for tool number 2? Let's talk about the memory box. This is how our program can hold on to information. Stuff it needs to remember for later. In the coding world, we call these variables.
The best way to think about it is like this. Imagine you have a bunch of jars in your kitchen. One might hold sugar, another might hold flour. Well, a variable is just like a jar, but for information. It's a named container for data. For example, we can make a memory box named score and pop the number 100 inside. Now, that equal sign isn't what you see in math class. In coding, it's more like an arrow. It means put the thing on the right into the box on the left.
And it's not just for numbers. We can create another memory box, let's call it player name, and store some text in it, like the name Sparky. The one key thing to remember is that text always needs to be wrapped in quotation marks. So, what's the point of storing all this stuff? Well, so we can use it later, of course. If we tell the computer to print player name, it doesn't print the words player name. No, it's smarter than that. It looks inside that memory box and prints whatever it finds. In this case, out comes Sparky. Okay, on to our third and final tool for today. And this is a big one. It's the rulebook. The rulebook is what gives our program a brain. It lets our code make decisions and do things over and over. And this is where coding gets really, really powerful. So our rulebook is split into two main sections. First, you've got your decision makers. Think of these as the part of your code that can choose between different paths. And second, you've got your super fast workers, who can do a task again and again without ever getting tired. So the decision maker is what we call an if-else statement. It's basically a fork in the road. It asks a question like, hey, is the score bigger than 50? If the answer is yes, it does one thing. If not, or else, it does something completely different. Simple as that.
And then we have our super fast worker, the for loop. Loops are amazing. Anytime you need to do the exact same thing more than once, a loop is your go-to. Instead of writing the same line of code 10 times, you write it once and just tell the loop to run it 10 times. It's a huge time saver.
Check out this quick example. This for loop is going to print the numbers from 1 to 5. Now, you might notice something a little quirky. We wrote range 1 to 6. Here's the little secret about Python. It starts at the first number, but it stops just before the last number. So range 1 to 6 actually gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Kind of neat, right?
All right, this is the moment we've been waiting for. We're going to take all 3 of our new tools, the megaphone, the memory box, and the rulebook, and combine them to build our first real working contraption.
So here's the game plan. We'll start with our loop to count from 1 to 5. Then, inside that loop, we'll pop in a decision. We'll tell it, if the number is exactly equal to 3, notice the 2 equal signs, that's how we ask a question in Python, then use your megaphone to print magic number. For every other number, just go ahead and print the number itself.
And would you look at that? Here's what happens. The code runs through the numbers. 1, 2. Then it gets to 3. Our if statement sees that, kicks in, and prints our special message. Then it keeps going with 4 and 5. See? You just built a program that actually thinks.
So let's do a quick recap of your new coding toolkit. You've got the megaphone, print,
which lets the computer talk. You've got the memory box, variables for storing all kinds of information. And you've got the rulebook, with if, else, and loops to make your code smart and efficient.
And honestly, believe it or not, with just these 3 basic tools, you now have the fundamental building blocks to create almost anything you can imagine. A simple calculator, a little game, an interactive story, it's all possible. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build first?